If you spent any time in the outdoors, you've probably encountered the classic Nalgene water bottle, a sturdy wide-mouthed bottle plastered with stickers on a hiker's pack. Or if you're boring like me, you put 0 stickers on it and just look like a backpacking pariah. How did this humble lab container become the ubiquitous water bottle of the outdoor world? Today, we're diving into the history of Nalgene to see just how it went from a laboratory invention to an icon of hiking and camping culture.
Just like Mormonism, Nalgene's story begins in Rochester, New York, but this time in 1949. That year, chemist Emanuel Goldberg developed one of the first plastic laboratory pipette jars and founded a plastics company called Nalge, named after his wife Natalie Levy Goldberg's, aka Natalie Jean's, initials. Nalge produced laboratory equipment made of a new lightweight shatter-resistant plastic, polyethylene, including bottles and storage containers. In the 1960s, some of the Nalge lab scientists who were avid hikers started taking these lab bottles on weekend trips in the Adirondack Mountains. They found the plastic bottles to be lightweight, leak-proof, and far less fragile than the heavy metal canteens or glass bottles commonly used for camping. The lab bottles' beaker-like wide mouth also made them easy to fill and clean. Unintentionally, Nalge had created an ideal outdoor bottle. It just hadn't been marketed as one yet. By the 1970s, the secret was out. Hikers and campers were regularly repurposing Nalge's lab bottles for outdoor use. And around the same time, the environmental movement was in full swing. The first Earth Day was celebrated in 1970, and the carry-in, carry-out ethic was being adopted at campsites, urging campers to pack all their trash out instead of burning it or burying it. Reusable bottles fit this ethic perfectly. Nalgene's durable plastic bottles offered an easy, eco-friendly solution for carrying water without generating waste from disposable bottles or cans. Sensing an opportunity, Marsh Hyman, the president of Nalge, took notice of the trend and, helped by the fact that his own son's Boy Scout troop was enthusiastically using Nalge lab bottles on scout camping trips. Scouts found the bottles useful not only for water but for storing dry goods like pancake mix and keeping matches dry, thanks to their leak-proof lids. The bottles were a hit with the troop, and that convinced Hyman that these lab containers had a future in the consumer outdoor market. He directed his company to start marketing the bottles to outdoor aficionados everywhere. Nalgene Outdoor, again named after Goldberg's wife Natalie Jean, combined to be Nalgene, was born. The company began repackaging and selling its lab bottles as high-quality hiking and camping gear by the late 1970s. The classic 1-liter wide-mouth Nalgene bottle, initially a translucent plastic bottle with a screw-on cap attached by a loop, soon became a staple item in backpacking circles. Throughout the late 70s and into the 80s, Nalgene bottles were gaining a reputation not just among hardcore backpackers, but on college campuses and in everyday life. Carrying an Nalgene became a badge of the environmentally conscious, outdoorsy lifestyle. The bottles were user-friendly, durable, and leak-proof, which endeared them to the quote granola-chewing nature enthusiasts and students alike. In other words, the Nalgene was becoming cool. Apparently, water bottle trends never end, be it Nalgene's, Hydro Flasks, Stanley Cups, or whatever. We apparently love our liquid containers. Nalgene's big break into mainstream visibility, though, came from a rather unexpected arena, the 1980 Winter Olympics. During the famous Miracle on Ice hockey game, which, if you're unfamiliar with, I highly recommend Disney's Miracle, which will make you feel like a red-blooded American no matter where you come from. Well, except maybe the USSR, I guess. Which took place at Lake Placid in 1980. The US men's hockey team used Nalgene bottles on their bench to stay hydrated. In fact, Nalgene developed its first squeezable plastic sports bottle specifically for Team USA, which helped keep the players refreshed in their gold medal run. This moment put Nalgene on television and proved the bottle's utility beyond wilderness outings, proving that they were tough enough even for Olympic athletes. By the mid-1980s, Nalgene was not only a staple in scouts and camping packs, but also showing up in gyms and sports fields. The brand had an image of rugged reliability that resonated with anyone needing a water bottle. Throughout the 1990s, Nalgene's popularity kept growing and diversifying. The company responded by introducing new colors and designs for the now iconic 32-ounce or 1-liter wide-mouth bottle. No longer limited to the original laboratory clear or gray, Nalgene's were soon available in a rainbow of bright translucent colors: blue, red, green, purple, you name it. They also added fun graphics and offered bottles with logos for parks, colleges, and even events, making it easier for users to personalize their bottle. Many people plastered, and still plaster, their Nalgenes with stickers from different outdoor brands and travel destinations, turning them into scrapbooks of their adventures. During this decade, Nalgene also expanded its product line with new models, but the classic 1-liter wide-mouth remained the flagship, and by the late 90s, the Nalgene name was practically synonymous with durable water bottles among hikers. Outdoor gear stores everywhere stocked them, and many other accessories, water filters, backpack pockets, etc., were designed to fit around standard Nalgene dimensions. Entering the 2000s, the rest of the world caught up with what hikers had known for decades. Single-use bottles were out, and reusable bottles are in. Carrying your own water bottle became not only normal, but something of a status symbol of a green, active lifestyle. This boom sparked tons of new competition. Suddenly, there were $40 metal bottles and high-end insulated flasks on the market. But Nalgene, however, stuck to its roots by keeping its classic bottles affordable and accessible to everyone. A typical Nalgene bottle costs around $10 to $15, a fraction of those boutique bottles, and yet it often outlasts them. Around this time, Nalgene also faced a challenge over the plastic use in its transparent bottles. In the mid-2000s, health concerns were raised about BPA, or bisphenol A, a chemical in the polycarbonate plastic that Nalgene and many other manufacturers used. Responding to public concern, Nalgene phased out its BPA-containing bottles in 2008. The company introduced a new BPA-free material called Eastman Triton copolyester for its popular bottles, so that all Nalgene bottles made after 2008 are BPA-free, and from what I can tell, when I compare my Nalgene to the vintage one at my parents' house, they are just as durable as ever. Despite new trends like stainless steel insulated bottles in the 2010s, Nalgene has held its ground and even embraced the sustainability movement further. In recent years, the company launched its Nalgene Sustain line, made from 50% recycled plastic, to reduce environmental impact. Impressively, all Nalgene bottles are still manufactured in the USA, in Rochester, New York in fact, where the brand began in 1949, and each bottle is individually inspected by human hands as it comes off the line. In 2019, Nalgene celebrated its 70th anniversary by releasing a special edition bottle honoring its history. Over its 7-decade lifespan, Nalgene water bottles went from unassuming lab containers to an icon of outdoor adventure. Ultimately, Nalgene became ubiquitous by being reliably excellent at what it does, and as long as outdoor recreation lives on in the hearts of adventurers, Nalgene bottles will be along for the journey. Plus, you have to put your sticker somewhere visible. I mean, otherwise, how else are you going to brag about how many national parks you visited during your gap year? Thank you very much for watching, and next time we'll look into 10 reasons the Nalgene bottle itself is such a great design for outdoor usage. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did learning about the origin of Nalgene bottles, which are a part of mine and others' daily lives. And if you did, be sure to share it and subscribe so you don't miss any of my new uploads. Until then, stay safe out there, and I'll see you next time.